This is the video homework tutorial for section 2.4, writing the equations of lines. On this section, we are going to write the equations. We know the slope-intercept, we know the point-slope form, and we know standard form. And we're going to use the appropriate form which matches our information. In this case, what we are given is the m is slope and b is y-intercept. So since we're given slope and y-intercept, we're going to use slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. Now, I'm just going to substitute in for each one I know. So I'm going to go y equals, I know that my m is a negative 5.4, so I replace the m with negative 5 over 4. Leave the x because that's part of our equation, plus, and in this case, my y-intercept is 7. So my b is 7, so I replace the b with 7. So my answer is y equals a negative 5 over 4x plus 7. There were no signs that needed to be simplified, so we just leave that as a y equals negative 5 over 4x plus 7, and that is slope-intercept form. We will now move on to the next section with the point-slope form. On number 15, we have 7 and negative 3, and m is a negative 4/7. So we're given the point, 7, negative 3, and we're given the slope, negative 4/7. Point-slope form is y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. I'm going to take my y1 and my x1, so this 7 is x1, the negative 3 is y1. So now I'm going to plug into the formula. So when I plug into the formula here, it's going to go y minus, in this case my y1 is a negative 3, equals, my slope is a negative 4/7, parentheses x, and my x1 is going to be 7. Alright, so now I need to clean up my signs. So minus and negative becomes a plus, so it's going to be y equals, sorry about that, not y equals, y plus 3 equals, my slope is negative 4/7. And then in the parentheses, nothing to simplify, so I just leave it as x minus 7. And your answer will always have y and x, and then a number for y1, a number for the slope, and a number for the x1. So your answer on number 15 is y plus 3 equals negative 4/7 x minus 7. And that is your answer in point-slope form. We now move on to the next section, working with parallel and perpendicular lines. We're going to do number 23. On number 23, we're given the point 4, 1, which that will be our x1, and that will be our y1. And then we're given that our line is perpendicular to y equals 1/3 x plus 3. So on this, the slope of this line is 1/3. And we know that perpendicular is the opposite reciprocal, so the slope that we are going to use is going to be the opposite reciprocal of 1/3. So the opposite would be a negative, and the reciprocal of 1/3 would be 3/1, which is just 3. So now we're going to use this slope and this point to find our equation. Now we know the point slope is y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. And that equals, and our slope is a negative 3, and then x minus, and our x1 was 4. So now I clean up any signs if we have any. Y minus 1, negative 3, x minus 4. There's no signs to clean up, so my answer is y minus 1 equals negative 3, x minus 4. And that is your answer for number 23 in point-slope form. We now move on to number 35. On number 35, we are going to find the equation of the line, and we're given 2 points that pass through the line that passes through the 2 points. All right, so we're going to have to do things, since we don't know the slope, the first thing we need to do is we need to find slope. Using m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, just like we did in the previous lesson. So now I'm going to plug in m equals my y2 is 8 minus my y1 is -2. All that is over x2 is -3 minus a -5. So minus negative becomes plus a positive on both of those. So now we know our slope is 8 plus 2 is 10, and -3 plus 5, since you have opposite signs, you end up subtracting, gives us 2. So our slope is 2. I'm sorry, our slope is 5, because 10 divided by 2 is 5. So there's our slope. So now we have slope and we have a point. And it does not matter which point you use. I'm going to use the first one. I'm always going to use the first one just so we don't mix up our numbers. So I'm going to take the first point and the slope. And since I'd have a point and a slope, I'm going to use point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Just like this. So now I'm going to simplify this down. I'm going to plug in the information that we know. So I'm going to say y minus, in this case my y1 is a -2, equals m, and my m is 5, x minus my x1 is a -5. So now minus a negative becomes plus. So that would be y plus 2 equals 5 minus a negative on that one also becomes plus, so that would be x plus 5. And that is your answer in point slope form for number 35. And that concludes the video tutorial for section 2.4.